Is your reality real? At first, the answer seems obvious. Of course it is. You're here, right? You can touch things, hear sounds, see colors. But what if none of that proves reality is actually what it seems? Neuroscience has revealed something unsettling. Your senses don't show you the world as it is. They only show you what your brain predicts will keep you safe. You're not seeing truth. You're seeing survival. And that's not just a theory. It's how the mind is wired. Think about it. You have no direct access to the external world. Everything you know, every shape, sound, and sensation is filtered through your nervous system, interpreted, edited, and then presented to you as real. But what if that version isn't even accurate? It's not about whether the world exists. It does. The illusion is thinking you're seeing it clearly. You're not. You're seeing what your brain wants you to see. And the reason is simple. Truth doesn't always keep you alive. Comfort does. Familiarity does. Patterns do. And that's where the illusion begins. Because if your brain isn't showing you reality, what is it showing you? That's exactly what we'll explore now, starting with the part of your mind that's been lying to you since the very beginning. 1. Your brain isn't showing you the truth, just what keeps you safe. Most people think they see the world as it is, but the truth, the brain isn't showing them reality, it's showing them a version of it that helps them survive. That's how evolution wired the system, not for truth, but for safety. When you walk into a dark alley and your heart races, it's not because something is there, it's because your mind learned to fear the unknown. This fear-based perception is what filters the world before you even know it. Your perception is more like a security system than a camera. It picks up on threats, patterns, emotional memories, and filters out anything that doesn't fit the survival script. That's why you can be in a peaceful moment and suddenly feel anxious for no reason. A smell, a sound, a flash of memory. Your brain doesn't wait for logic. It reacts first, explains later, and most of the time it doesn't even tell you it made the choice. Welcome to the illusion. Neuroscience shows us this clearly. The brain constantly predicts reality, not just reacts to it. It fills in the blanks based on what it already believes, so you see what fits your story, not what's actually in front of you. Like that time you thought someone was angry just because they looked away. They weren't. But your mind, shaped by past pain, convinced you it was true. And you lived that truth, even though it was fiction. Want to break this filter? Start by noticing your triggers, not avoiding them, watching them. Next time you feel rejected, pause. Ask, what is my mind protecting me from right now? You'll be surprised how often it's not the world, but your own memories playing tricks on your perception. And just when you think you've seen the full picture, something deeper begins to surface. 2. You're not seeing the world. You're seeing a story. Every time you open your eyes, you're not seeing the world. You're seeing a story your mind has been rehearsing for years. That story includes who you think you are, what you expect from life, and how you believe things should be. It's not perception, it's projection. The mind projects its history onto the present, and then calls it reality. You're not looking out. You're looking in and mistaking the mirror for the window. Think about it. 2 people walk into the same room. One sees opportunity, the other sees threat. Same space, completely different realities. That's not the room talking. It's their internal stories, their upbringing, wounds, desires, all editing the experience in real time. You're not responding to the world. You're responding to what the mind thinks the world is. That's the illusion nobody warns you about. This is why arguments happen, why relationships break, why life feels stuck. Because you're not interacting with people. You're interacting with the version of them your mind created. And they're doing the same to you. It's like 2 holograms fighting, each convinced they're touching something solid. Neuroscience backs this up. Your brain builds a model of reality, not reality itself, and you live inside that model without knowing it. To start cracking the illusion, observe your interpretations. Next time you feel misunderstood, ask, what story am I running right now? Try journaling it. Be brutally honest. You might uncover a script that's been on repeat since childhood, and once that veil thins, something remarkable happens. Your mind starts glitching, not in fear but in curiosity, like, if this story isn't true, then what else have I mistaken for truth? 3. You were programmed before you knew your name. Long before you could think for yourself, you were already being programmed, not by some evil system, but by well-meaning parents, teachers, culture, and society. You were told who you are, what to believe, what's possible, what's dangerous, and your brain, still soft and forming, soaked it all in without resistance. That's how identity begins, not with choice, but with repetition. You didn't discover yourself. You downloaded a version of reality someone else handed you. You were taught how to react to emotions, what success means, and even what kind of love you deserve. Think about that. The things you're most certain of, what if they aren't truly yours? Neuroscience shows that neural pathways formed in childhood become the autopilot of adulthood. So when you say, this is just how I am, it might actually be how you were conditioned to be. That's not identity. That's a habit your awareness forgot to question. But here's the beautiful twist. Anything that was programmed can be deprogrammed. You can uninstall the belief that says you're unworthy. You can override the pattern that makes you sabotage your progress. Start by asking one powerful question every time you react strongly. Where did I learn this? Trace it back. You'll often find a parent's voice, a teacher's rule, a cultural myth still echoing in your nervous system like a broken record. Want to break the spell? Try writing down 5 beliefs about yourself. Then beside each one, write, who gave me this? You might be shocked at how much of your inner world isn't even yours. That awareness, that crack in the wall, is where something new begins to grow. And just as you're peeling back the layers of your story, something far stranger begins to reveal itself. Something that suggests you're not just observing reality, you might actually be creating it. 4. Reality is not observed, it's created. Most people think reality is out there, fixed, solid, just waiting to be seen, but that's not how it works. Reality doesn't show itself until you look. And even then, what you see depends on who's doing the looking. Quantum mechanics proves this with the double-slit experiment. Particles change behavior when observed. Your attention literally alters what's real. You're not a passive observer. You're an active participant in the illusion you call life. The brain plays along. Neuroscience shows that it doesn't wait for facts. It predicts, projects, and fills in the blanks. That means your perception isn't about truth, it's about familiarity. You see what fits your mental blueprint, not what's actually there. Ever misread a text and get mad, only to reread it and see it differently? That's not the text changing. It's your awareness catching up with the truth your brain edited. Here's something wild. Even your environment responds to you. Ever notice how your energy shifts a room? Or how a bad mood seems to magnetize bad traffic, rude people, even broken technology? That's not just coincidence. It's resonance. You're shaping the atmosphere around you with your focus, thoughts, and emotional frequency. If you believe life is chaotic, you'll meet chaos everywhere. But what if that was just one channel on a bigger cosmic radio? Try this today. Shift your attention. Choose 1 hour to expect magic. Expect things to go right. Expect peace. Not in a fake, forced way, but with openness. Watch what happens. The illusion might not crack open completely, but you'll start seeing the seams. And right there, in that glitch, you'll feel it. The quiet realization that maybe, just maybe, the world is responding to you. 5. This is not the world. You think it is. You were born into a world that looked already assembled. Rules in place, time ticking forward, history carved in stone. But what if all of it was a shared hallucination? Culture, money, borders, even time itself, they only exist because we all agree they do. Nobody questions the script because we're too busy playing our roles. And yet every now and then, something doesn't quite fit. A crack shows, a moment feels off. That's not paranoia, that's your awareness stirring. Take time, for example. Everyone treats it as linear, past, present, future. But your own memories betray that. One smell can yank you 20 years into the past. One thought, and your body feels fear over something that hasn't even happened. Time isn't a straight line. It's a fluid experience shaped by perception. And if time bends, then what else about this world might be up for questioning? Neuroscience confirms it. Your brain creates a model of the world, then edits everything to match that model. If a belief doesn't fit, the brain hides it. That's why it's so hard to change your mind. It's not about facts, it's about safety. Beliefs aren't just thoughts. They're the scaffolding your illusion hangs from. Question them, and the whole structure trembles. That's why awakening feels like dying sometimes. It's the death of a fake world you didn't realize was fake. Want to test it? Try questioning just one normal idea you've never looked at, like, why do we all work 5 days a week? Or, why do I think I need to be productive to be valuable? Ask the question. Sit with the discomfort. Let the illusion feel shaky. That discomfort is sacred. It means you're stepping out of the consensus trance. And as the fog begins to lift, a deeper question starts to emerge. What if life isn't happening to you, but through a dream that's waiting to wake itself up? 6. You are the dreamer, not the dream. Ever had a dream so real you woke up sweating, your heart pounding, your thoughts racing, yet none of it actually happened? That's how powerful the mind is. Now here's the twist. How do you know you're not still dreaming? Waking life feels consistent, sure, but so did that dream. The brain doesn't use different circuits for dreaming and waking. It uses the same ones. So, if both worlds feel real, who's to say which one is the illusion? Think about it. When you're dreaming, you don't question it. A flying dog? Sure. Your old math teacher on the moon? Fine. Your mind fills in the gaps so convincingly, you don't blink. It's only when you wake up that you realize it was never real. So what if this life is just a dream you haven't woken up from yet? A longer, more stable dream, but still a dream. One built by memory, expectation, and perception. Neuroscience backs this too. The brain creates simulations all the time. Even now, what you see is just a hallucination agreed upon by your senses. Your eyes don't see, they interpret. Your ears don't hear, they translate. You're not touching the world, you're interpreting vibrations and signals. So if everything you feel is filtered through that system, what part of it can you actually trust? That's where awareness steps in. Here's something to try. Keep a dream journal for a week. But don't stop there. Start treating your waking life like a dream too. Notice the loops, the symbols, the strange timing of events. Notice how people say exactly what you needed to hear. That's the dream speaking to you. And the more you notice it, the more you'll start to feel a presence underneath it all. A quiet awareness that might have been watching the dream long before you had a name. 7. Awareness was here before your thoughts began, before you learned your name, before you had language, before anyone told you who you were. There was still something present, a silent, spacious awareness just watching. It didn't have opinions, it didn't argue, it just noticed. That's the real you, not the thinker, not the identity, just the awareness that's been quietly witnessing this entire illusion unfold. And strangely, it's the only part of you that's never changed. Think of your life like a movie. The scenes keep changing. School, work, heartbreak, joy. Your body changes, your voice changes, your beliefs flip. But what hasn't changed is that deep sense that you're still here. not as the character on the screen, but as the one sitting in the theater. That presence isn't made of thought. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor, right or wrong. It just watches, patiently, always. And here's what's wild. Neuroscience can't find a you anywhere in the brain. No core, no command center, just a bunch of systems firing off signals. The illusion of self is a collage. But awareness, that's not located anywhere. It's not a thought. It's what hears the thought. Not a sensation, but what feels it. And the more you sink into that awareness, the more you start to remember you were never the voice in your head. Here's a little experiment. Sit in silence for 1 minute. Don't try to stop thoughts. Just watch them, like clouds passing. Don't engage, just witness. Now ask, who's watching this? Don't try to answer, just feel into it. That quiet stillness, that untouched presence. That's home. That's what's real. And as the mind scrambles to hold onto the illusion, that awareness just smiles, because it never needed to be convinced in the first place.